Okay. So this is a VOD review for Kill. Plat slash gold level. I believe Kill is playing. So you're kind of like playing tanks and stuff. Divas, Zaryas. I think that there was an Orisa in there at some point. Yeah. So yeah, Diva, Zarya, and Orisa, which is a good mix. So currently, first and foremost, it's fine at this level to kind of play whatever, so long as you have like a synergy with like a duo or something. But the natural selection in terms of tanks, you have a main tank. The main tank will generally have a permanent shield presence. So permanent or semi-permanent shield presence. Reinhardt, Orisa, Winston are usually your main tanks. Reinhardt is seeing a lot less play than he has in the past, and is usually paired with Zarya. And then you have your off-tank player. If you're having a second tank on your team, that will generally be Zarya if you have a Reinhardt, Diva if you have a Winston, and Hog if you have an Orisa. You could do a triple tank, and generally that means Reinhardt, Zarya, Roadhog, and I tend to see that most often on King's Row as a way to just throw a ton of health at whatever problem. You've been seeing a particular strat from Dallas Fuel, actually, where they run quad tank, and you see this on maps like well, the map pool is kind of limited, so I don't know what all the maps that they'll be using the strat on, but you do see it on Anubis, Temple of Anubis. That is literally just sending all of your health straight at the point, hoping for the best, and that's that. Okay, so I do have your questions. Okay, wound up placing 2.1k. Got it. I do have your questions that you prepared ahead of time for this VOD review. It's going to be really helpful, as I can kind of like direct my thought process towards what you're really needing help with. I'll try to, check other stuff that maybe like doesn't come up. But yeah, so let's lower this.
Oh, thanks.
And okay.
Yeah.
So Orisa, you're on. First of all, we're on Nepal, and this is specifically Sanctum. Most times you will see an Orisa Hog, so what you have here, totally good. I like it. The Junkrat, totally good. I like it. Your healers, Zen Lucio, do not provide enough healing, in my opinion. Given that your fight, you have kind of like the point here, and then you have this corridor, the pillars area, that you fight initially on for control. Like, if you control that area, then you're able to play around those pillars and shoot reliably at people on point, and generally you'll take more health off of them than they'll take off of you, which pressures them away from the point. That's how you create pressure. You make them lose more health, then you lose. And that's just a raw amount. If a Diva's fighting a soldier and the Diva takes off half of the soldier's health and the soldier takes off half of the Diva's health, the Diva still creates more pressure on the soldier. So there's that. Jupiter, I'm doing a VOD review. So, by the way, if anybody has questions, feel free. And I'll kind of try and touch on whatever you guys have questions about. Cool. But yeah, so that's my thing first and foremost. Let's kind of go forward and see if you stick with these healers. You do. So, sorry, the reason that I was talking about fighting along this long corridor is there's really not too much progress one way or the either, or the other. Sorry. It's very difficult to really push across that. The middle part of the pillars area is almost always a no man's land that no one actually really pushes into. So if you are just sitting in your trenches, you don't necessarily need the Zen Lucio, right? You really should, in my opinion, you should be getting a Mercy or an Ana or maybe both. You could even try Moira out. Moira is not a terrible pick here. If you know, angle your healing orb properly, I mean, there's just a ton of healing that you can do. Also, Mercy would be a solid pick here, as she is able to survive being pulled off. And I think you should allocate some thoughts towards that. If the Mercy, like if any character gets pulled off here, you want to try to be able to recover them. So you go right side. Yep. You go right side. I would. So generally, I would put your shield right on these stairs. You want to fight here. Again, I already told you. You want to fight here because you're able, if you control this area, this is as close as Overwatch gets, by the way, to having a second objective. Because holding this area is very, very strong. Like it's a better spot to hold than the point sometimes. And I have no idea where the enemy team is.
Ryan is discarded.
You're gonna just hold your side of point right here, totally fine. Make sure you're far enough away from the walls, so that the Pharah can't get splash damage on you.
In the back.
This Pharah is never gonna do anything to you, by the way, so you don't really need to worry about her. If she pushes you, halt her, and you'll be able to do half her health,
I don't know
which
what
zones her
our
away.
Bastion's doing, but he's letting me get killed.
Okay, good job, Reinhardt. You died. Okay, so you cap the point, and you've seen two of the people on the enemy team. I don't know what they're doing. I actually am not really sure what's going on in your back line.
Hey Bastion, what are you doing?
Oh man, that junk needs health. Oh.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah, that's great, except for our Bastion is sitting back here.
Oh. Yeah, that'd probably help.
Okay, Bastion's up. We have a baby diva behind us. But don't worry about her.
Oh my god. That was almost the sickest alley-oop I would have ever seen. Lucia, oh my god. That needs to be a preset play that I play around. That's really... This Reinhardt is getting handled by your Lucio. So when it comes to shield pressure, okay, Orisa versus Reinhardt, Reinhardt, he doesn't regenerate his shield health, really, you know? If he needs to be attacking, it's really hard for him to maintain pressure. If he's defensive, yeah, he could pop, you know, around a corner, wait a few seconds, build up like 200, 500 health on his shield, and then pop out again. But you're defensive Orisa. He's an offensive Reinhardt. This is exactly what you want to have happen. This plays into you very well. In order to play into this, though, you want to create as much space between where the Reinhardt has to show his shield and where you are. Because you don't want him to be able to melee you. You don't want him to be able to get close to you. You want him to have his shield up as long as possible, so your team has as much time as possible to break that shield. This Lucio is trying to get a boop on the Rhine, which is good, but it's mispositioning the Rhine, making it a little bit harder for your team to break his shield. If anything, I would like it if you're Lucio. Like, it's fine to try to go for the boop here, but if you guys are trying to play around the shield break, which, I mean, technically you should be doing since you have a Bastion, the Lucio could walk up. So, Reinhardt is, like, between the back of his back and the front of his chest. Let's say he's, like, that big, right? And then his shield's, like, right here. So there's this little gap. anybody could like walk into and damages the Rhine basically through the shield. Lucio comes right into this area, boops the Reinhardt back. It gives you a lot more time in order to break that Rhine shield. Same thing goes for your halt. Yeah, you could use those abilities to try to boop them off. If that doesn't work though, it's debatable use.
Rhine discorded.
Okay, this is like...
Mercy's discorded.
This is Normandy as fuck.
Ferris discorded.
They're just like walking up to your team, not damaging the Bastion. So, alright, I forgot to keep these questions in mind. So, the first question, in the first push, I'm just kind of standing on point with nothing to do. Is that where I should have been? I kind of answered this. At a higher level, most of the time your Orisa is fighting on pillars or at near pillars, looking for halts that'll bring people, you know, into the pit. Because environmental kills, by the way, are buffed as long as Mercy is playable. Because when people are pulled off of the point, or when people die via an environmental kill, you know, they fall down into a pit or whatever, you can't res them. Okay, that's a huge thing, very important. So that is why environmental kills are not a bad thing to focus on. But yeah, generally, if you look at this point and you put a line from at the middle of the point. All right, this is just, I'm just gonna have to. All right, so if the point is kind of like this. And you have dark here and dark here. Okay. If you put lines like this and like this, I would generally want that Orisa shield probably like right there. That's not a bad spot to have it. Maybe more like this. But yeah, I think that's a good spot. Oh. Alright, here. I should probably keep this up. Okay. But yeah, so I think the Orisa shield is best right there. It provides coverage from, like, you also get kind of like this. So you do get the coverage from pillars. You get the coverage from protection angle from their secret entrance. Their stairs, you know, their right area. This is a really strong spot to have that shield. It gives you a little bit of room to operate with, and if you go any further back, then you risk having some splash damage from the Pharah. So this is a good spot for the shield. However, you have a Bastion that's sitting like right here. Bastion is in the wrong spot. Calm to him, tell him, dude, get behind my shield. It's not safe for you. They have a Pharah, 2 directs, and you're going to be forced back off to heal, and then they could pressure the point. And your defense could crumble. You never know. Also, I would be scared of going right there. Oh, quick pro tip. If you're on a Discord call with someone, and, well, if you're on a Discord call with someone, generally I would mute them in game. It prevents the double talk. Although I sometimes will turn it on, or have it on where there is double talk, so that I know if someone's talking directly to me in Discord, but whatever. Just a small aside.
D.Va behind.
Hey, the fuck? So they have Junk, Pharah. Okay. That provides a lot of shield pressure against you, which is difficult.
D.Va behind.
So this Reinhardt went on a massive flank. I think you might have been able to pull this Reinhardt off.
Help, I'm below.
So this, the Hog needs to pressure that Rein.
Reinhardt behind. Reinhardt discorded. Reinhardt.
There's so, okay.
D.Va behind.
You know what I would do? I would probably go to their side of the point. That feels like the safest spot for you. You want to be playing to stall here, by the way. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. I think that the enemy team's side of the point is probably the safest, so I would probably go that way. Do they have anyone that could heal this Rhine? I think so. Oh god, this is such a mess, man. I'm gonna be honest. Playing at this SR feels so wonky. Okay. They have a Moira. Yeah, they can't really heal that guy. Okay. I think my plan here is to slide a little back towards their side of the point. Maybe on like their half. Continue shooting at this Reinhardt. Your Zen is going to die to this Pharah very soon. So you want to get as much damage in while this Discord is active, right? Continue shooting at the Reinhardt. Hop back a little bit. Toss your shield in front of you to help defend from the D.Va. There is a Junkrat then that would be behind you if you do take it direct from him. At that point, I would probably fortify. And then I would push the Junkrat so long as this shield is preventing the D.Va from really getting at you. Try to kill that Junkrat, protect your back, and then you're safe. You know, from your back, and you can focus on what's going on in front of you. You do have a Lucio heal, and it's something, but it's not great.
Reinhardt Discorder?
Yeah, I think you could have gotten away with not fortifying here.
Help, I'm being chased by a bear. Chased by a bear. Help, I'm being chased.
I spoke about this earlier. You want to create as much space between yourself and the Reinhardt as possible. Instead of walking up to this guy, as your fortify is down, you want to be backing up, okay? This puts you in a dangerous position where it's not hard for him to kind of charge at you. And they're really, since you don't have halt up, you can't really defend yourself that way. I think it's actually possible. I think when Reinhardt charges, if he hits a supercharger, he will stop at the supercharger. So in this worst case scenario, if you didn't want to get charged, you could probably put down your supercharger and make sure that it's always in between you and the Reinhardt. That way, if he charges at you, he won't pin you. Okay? Now you want to be far enough away from the supercharger so that you don't get sucked into the charge. Yeah, you don't want to be able to get sucked into his pin and then pin against the supercharger. But yeah, create the space between the Reinhardt, force him to walk up to you.
I didn't realize that the stupid
So after we lost the point, should I have gone to help the Bastion or waited like I did? I don't know if you're talking about right now or this push.
There. Oh, don't be dumb.
So this is after you lost the point.
Please stop being dumb.
No.
It's okay.
You're fine.
No, that was me. I wouldn't have. Lucio didn't communicate that he was going.
Part of the problem with ranked is coordination and feeding. If you were to go forward, you you use cooldowns in order to help this guy get out, and you alert the enemy team as to where you are. Now, they are, momentum is in their favor, right? They're feeling strong. They're feeling buff. They took the point. You know, they're doing the like pounding their chest kind of shit right now. They're feeling a surge, right? So if they see this Bastion, they go for him, they kill him. They see you, they most likely are going to continue, and they're going to try to get you as well and kill you, okay? This is a big stagger, okay? You just respond after losing the point. Yeah, it sucks to lose the Bastion, but you don't want to lose your Orisa as well, okay? It's just, it sucks. This guy misplayed, and you can't do anything about it. You're totally fine to just sit back. You want to wait. You want to wait here. You don't want to push. Quick side note. Pushing with the Bastion is very difficult. Okay.
He's discorded. Maybe Diva's discorded.
Oh my. Okay, so as you peek this corner, I want your shield down. Otherwise, you're going to take a ton of spam. Yeah, that shield... So, look, you have half health by the time your shield is down. I would also advise against putting a supercharger down before you know that the diva has used her A, her thrusters, B, her rockets. Because you'll see this watching me. I will try to use both of those abilities in order to kill that supercharger as fast as I can. In the process, most likely losing my mech. That's fine by me, okay? If I can lose my mech and kill that supercharger, it's good. You know, it really helps my team. I assume I shouldn't have used Fortify there. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I would just put that shield down. So, I don't want to seem like hypercritical or anything, but twice now, if you had tossed your shield down, I think you wouldn't have needed to use your Fortify, okay? Fortify is like definitely an oh shit button, if I've ever seen one. It's part of what makes Orisa so strong against dive. I mean, like when Orisa came out, I continually said that she's bad against dive. But at the same time, it makes sense that it's good against dive. So,
He's discorded.
Yeah, I would put that shield down. Most teams, most people will actually use abilities to try to break that shield faster. Your Bastion didn't get pressured at all. You did your job as a tank just fine. Not a problem. Your supercharger stayed alive for a while. Yeah, you died, but you won the point. You created your space, you took the damage from the enemy team. Your Bastion didn't take any damage because he was off to the side and the enemy team evidently didn't see him at all. Was D.Va a good pick to switch to, or should I stay to Orisa? You are currently alt-tab, so we're not getting the... Alright, so you're talking about right now. So, let's talk a little bit about the difference between D.Va and Orisa. Now, first and foremost, you lose your main tank, we'll say, and you're swapping into a double off-tank scenario. One of the reasons why you would want an Orisa shield, or you know, a main tank with the semi-permanent shield pressure, you allow your squishies a place of safety if there's a Widow, which they didn't have. And you give yourself, you allow like zoning to happen, you know, more reliably without feeding as much health. Okay. Your team is going to feed a lot of alt charge. You don't have the healers to support your two tanks that doesn't have a main tank. So my concern is basically if you don't get a kill pretty much right away, you're going to lose the fight. Now they have a Pharah. You don't have anyone to deal with the Pharah. I suspect you might be on the D.Va to help deal with the Pharah. I think D.Va is a solid pick against Pharah. But really all you have is like a hook. You have like a Discord and a hook. And I don't know. I have a VOD I'd love for you to review if you're down for it. Not gonna ask twice.
It's ice to have a new subscriber.
Put it.
I know you won't flake out on me.
Put it in the Discord, Chris, in the VOD review channel. And probably do it tomorrow or something. Tintin, 13 months of support. Thank you so much, man. Fuck this so much. I need to find that clip. And I need to turn it into a sound clip. Thank you, Tintin. Appreciate it so much, man. I'm kind of like inadvertently stalling a lot, so why don't we just do the cat treat after the VOD review? This is already, how long have we gone for? Yeah, this is currently a 30-minute VOD review, and we are 5 minutes into it. But yeah, swapping from Diva to Orisa, or sorry, swapping from Orisa to Diva, you lose the shield pressure you create. Going main is not a bad idea. You know that you're probably gonna lose. Yeah, dude, eating that is so frustrating. I don't understand how it's like so inconsistent. Okay. I would stay where you were. I would stay right here. Okay. I would actually lean a little bit to the left, and use this corner, this wall, to the pillar, as cover. Okay. The Reinhardt, again, he has to walk up to you in order to damage to you. The longer you can stay stanced away from him, the better. This is why Tracer versus Rein generally works in the Tracer's favor, provided that she doesn't blink really poorly. And you didn't need a Matrix at all there. So here, your Matrix totally depleted. Okay. It's tough. So you lost a fourth of it, right-clicking that Rein, and you wanted to prevent, I assume, rockets from hitting your team. Now, here's the thing. In a double off-tank scenario, you want to be attacking from as many different angles as possible in order to nullify the advantage that a Reinhardt or Orisa shield has, okay? The Reinhardt or Orisa shield provides safety against pretty much one sight line, okay? If you were to stay behind this pillar right here, okay, you stand behind there, the Reinhardt, if he walks the point, has his back pretty much exposed to you, okay? Now, he could do that, and then the Diva could pressure you, but you have a Bastion in the sightline, if I remember properly. So, if the Diva fights you, she's going to lose her Matrix, and then she has to back off. If she fights it really improperly, she's going to lose her mech too, okay? So I think this is the most consistent play. If the Reinhardt turns his shield to you, you have a Hog on point, and he can hook. Like, the Hog can hook whichever tank pushes beyond the Rein shield or is, like, not covered by it. Also, you have a Reaper, so... Yeah, I would stay behind that pillar. You're kind of like allowing the team to just walk directly at you. They can keep this Reinhardt shield up in front of your entire team and just create pressure. And it's really hard to play against that. I don't know what your Bastion is doing. I don't know. What should I have done differently in the first push on the second map? Was my positioning wrong, or did they just outdamage our team? Okay, I already answered it. What targets should I focus when defense matrixing? That's a tough one to answer. Against their team, if I could eat 3 explosives, I'm pretty much good on using a fourth of my matrix. And I define an explosive by a Junkrat grenade, Pharah rocket. That's pretty much it. You don't really need a Matrix Rein ever. Eating those fire strikes is really, really nice, but I don't think you need to worry about Earthshatter too much.
Okay, I'll get the Pharah.
But yeah, you don't have a consistent way to deny the Pharah airspace. You don't have the heals that you really need. Like, they have a main heal. They have a Mercy, okay? Just get a Mercy, okay? I'm sure Bell is not too thrilled about potentially having to play Mercy. I promise you, it's a pick you need. You definitely are going to want to be aware of where Pharahs are pretty much at all times as a diva,
Yeah, I'm thinking
especially after team fights where she has a huge impact. After you do this long enough, you develop kind of like a sixth sense for kind of knowing when the Pharahs is going to barrage, okay? Sometimes it's pretty easy to read. Some Pharahs, by the way, will just use the, oh, Hog, what are you doing? Bastion should have transformed and killed that mech. Okay, that's fine. That creates space for your team. I think you're handling this all pretty well right now. The Pharah, you had to kill the Pharah. Yeah, I think you're overextending here. I'm sorry. I think you have to kill the Pharah. It's really hard for your team to create space. That's just really tough. I don't know what to say. You have a Moira, but it's really hard to play around a Moira when you're on attack.
He literally just killed me with it. He literally just... That's how I died the last time.
I don't know. I don't think that that's super winnable when you have a Moira and no main tank. It's just... I think it's just too hard to get those heals out. Sink it. Sink it. Oh, no. Alright, you failed the VOD review. Okay. So you have a quad... Or, sorry, triple tank with a Mercy. Again, you don't have anything to do with the Pharah. Okay? That's a huge thing. I would argue that at a higher level, your gameplay focuses less on making your team succeed, and then you shift towards making the other team fail. You know? Like, that sounds so weird, but you know, when people are asking me how to call fights, how to shot call, I don't say, you know, direct your team on how to use combos or stuff like that, really. My main recommendation is to take advantage of enemy weaknesses or to plan against the enemy team's ults. That's why ult tracking is so important. You know, if you know they have a barrage, you want to save your matrix. If the enemy team has a Genji blade, you know, you want to nano your soldier, or if your soldier has a visor, you nano your soldier, you nano visor, you kill the Genji as he's blading. If you don't have a visor, well, maybe you nano your Winston then. And you deal with the blade that way. You want to counter the enemy team more than make your team better, in a way. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I understand what I'm saying right now. We're going to pretend like I do. Oh. Oh my.
Oh, yeah. Lucio.
Well, you got a lot of shield pressure. You could have shielded your run at any time there.
She's behind us.
Nice kill. It's not bad. Okay. I said I needed to switch to Zarya, but would that have been correct? Could Diva have worked to retake this? Wait. Does knowing the enemy ults just come with time? There are sometimes I know because they've not used it, but I find it really hard to track. Yeah, the question was last map. Okay, I can answer that. So Zarya versus Diva. Zarya is strongest towards the middle / end of team fights. D.Va is the strongest towards the beginning / middle of the team fights. So you have different times that the character peaks in effectiveness. As the fight goes on, D.Va loses her matrix and has to boost away, regen the matrix, get some healing, and then, you know, like refit, refuel, and then get back into the fight. Zarya, however, builds up that energy over time, and eventually she hits 100 energy, and she can melt whatever is in her way. The reason why I'm saying this is when you're retaking a point, it's hard to make space with Zarya. You know, when you're pushing in and you have to waste time to build that energy, that's really brutal. Because if you have to spend, you know, if you like, let's say you use one set of bubbles, okay, and you get to 40 energy. You use another set of bubbles, you get to 80 energy. Use another set of bubbles. Now you're finally at 100 energy. It's been 30 seconds, okay? When you're taking the first point on I don't know, like a King's Row, Nabani, you shouldn't play Zarya and Nabani, but King's Row, that's an eighth of your time that you get to attack, okay? You spent 30 seconds just to get to a point where you're at your win condition, okay? With other comps, 30 seconds could mean a one-team fight. Now, this is pretty mercy, but whatever. So, when you are retaking, I don't think Zarya is too much to pick, especially against the Pharah. Pharah is a huge problem in ranked.
Frickin' suicidal Ryan, stop it!
I tried, man. I had my bubble on him.
There is no way I'm getting down there to
Yeah, that's
Rissa.
fine. You're doing fine right now. Playing behind the Orisa shield, zoning the Rhine shield, or, you know, trying to burn it. I would probably be shooting at the D.Va. That's good. That's good. You're not getting focused at all. You're going to want to deal with the... Good. Really good.
I'm being chased by D.Va.
Ferris dead.
Okay, so the Pharah just killed herself.
Out of mech. I need healing.
Coming.
There we go.
Junkrat most important here.
Being chased by D.Va again.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Wait, kill the D.Va. So, I would beam that D.Va until she's a little under 2/3 and then right-click her. You're max energy, so that should one-shot her. If it doesn't, melee, and then she's dead. Wait. I think I'm wrong. Yeah. I'm wrong. I need to Google something. Okay. Earth Shatter lasts for 2.5 seconds. Okay? In that time, you should be as high energy Zarya, you should be able to do 400, 500 damage? Theoretically. So, whoop. Okay. So here, beam the D.Va. Like, I would be walking forward and just working on your tracking. Just a slight, easy pull down. Getting in range of this Mercy that's right in front of you.
Nice.
And then bubble your Reinhardt as he's getting pinned. This should have been a pretty easy read. You see the Reinhardt walking in. Just flick and bubble that Rein. Very good. She's going to get absolutely nothing out of this. I feel like it's so difficult to kill the Moira, and she does pretty much nothing with the Coalescence, that at this point, I would probably be trying to find the tire and dealing with it. The beat. The beat is suboptimal. We'll say that much. Ruin, how you doing, man? Good to see you, my dude. Hope you're well. Okay. Feels good, man.
Okay, it's over. let's avoid killing her.
That's good, Graph. Solid. I don't know that you needed it, but like, I don't know. You like that you will win that fight without using Grav. But I don't know. I might have done that too. General question for Zarya. Am I bubbling the right targets? And when I'm shooting, am I prioritizing the right targets? Target prioritization. It's a tough one. I am of the opinion that winning the tank battle, the shield battle, is really important. So, I mean, like, I feel like you're doing a good job, right? Your biggest threat on the other team is probably the Pharah. So I would like to see you deal with that most often. Your bubbles are good. I try to not use my bubbles when I'm above 80 energy unless we're getting like a huge amount of pressure. That sucks.
Marissa,
Yeah,
come here.
that sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When you bubble a Tracer and she recalls and your bubble gets no value and it disappears, that's just, it feels bad. I feel so
She
bad.
was running the opposite direction, as per usual.
So here, I would probably tell my Lucio to go back and bring the Mercy as fast as possible. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Pissed up point, Pissed dead.
Really good. Reinhardt is creating a ton of pressure against the enemy team.
Somebody back up.
Run away. Eat this charge for the energy. Okay.
Ryan's
You
on.
didn't get too much out of that bubble. And Lucio jumped in front of you. Really unlucky.
Didn't kill me. That was on my part. That was a mistake. I should have.
I think I'm going crazy. Did they Valkyrie? They did. They did. They Valkyried. They tire. They shatter. They coalescence.
Didn't kill me. That was on my part. That was a mistake. I should have.
They could have Barrage and Diva Bomb.
We'll be
I think.
I'm not worried about that.
I kind of am. We'll see.
So, at this point, you just tell your team, reset, okay? They've got 0%. That your team is in such a good position, okay? Totally good position right now. You have a little more than a minute and a half to convincingly win a team fight, okay? Right now, you are in the best position to do that. I would actually swap to Diva right now in order to deal with that barrage that's coming in from the Pharah. Most likely aimed at your supports. Gonna be so disappointed. If you lose this, it's okay. Not worried. Losing is fine. Learn from the losses. And then you don't really lose.
Oh, wait, we might still be able to hold it.
No! No! You're a feeder! Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No. You're beating.
Get any energy off that. Whatever.
I hate this, by the way. When you have 0 energy and you're just tickling someone, you're like, ah, I'm a threat. Fear me. You just don't have the muscle to back it up.
There we go.
I got the line up. Got the line up.
You could grab that. You could grab that. Totally fine.
Oh, I mean,
Okay?
Chose the
Grabbing that. Oh, man.
Kill the Mercy.
Alright.
Damn it.
They just capped. Yeah, you gave up your grab, but you know what? That's fine. I would have used it a little bit earlier. You could have cleared out the Mercy and the Junkrat pretty easily. I would be right-clicking in that situation. You should be able to kill them if you're at max energy. Oh god, how do I pause? Okay. You should, at max energy, be doing 190 DPS. That means that if your grab lasts for 4 seconds, by left-clicking, you should be able to kill them. Okay? Oh god, I have hiccups. No. No. In that situation, a mercy kill... Like, honestly, I feel like grab is worth a kill on a mercy. Pretty much, like, a lot of the time. Getting 2 kills with that, that's solid. That's a DPS, a Junkrat, who's arguably too strong right now, and Mercy, who's too strong right now, okay? Both those characters are getting nerfs on the PTR. Killing both those characters, I think it's fine use of grab, okay? Cool. Do they have a secondary healer? I don't know.
I have ulti.
Anyway, she's definitely getting in position for a barrage. I think.
Yeah, she's looking for me.
Look at who she's shooting at, by the way. Okay? You need to flick your vision down. Who's taking the damage? Oh shit, it's my Mercy. Bubble the Mercy. Mercy's gonna get to safety in this situation, so Belle doesn't die. You're gonna get some energy, which means that you're able to kill the Pharah.
She found me.
Should have bubbled you. I just tunnel visioned her.
Totally fine.
She found me.
That's okay.
Sarah has ulti.
You're dealing with the Pharahs really reliably. It's really good. Okay?
Oh, Rhino work. Rhino work.
I think you're a little far forward.
Oh, you're joking.
You might have been able to walk past that Reinhardt shield and right-click him and kill him. Okay. So we have some questions. Is there anything I can do as Zarya versus Reinhardt, or should I switch to a different tank? Or am I just supposed to rely on my team to do the majority of the shield break? Okay, so I've been kind of touching on it a little bit. I believe that Zarya is a huge contributor to breaking the Reinhardt shield. If you... Like, generally, if you're at a decent energy, we'll say like 40 to 80, over the course of shooting 3 full clips, you should be able to break the Reinhardt shield. Now, that is 18 seconds, and that's a really long time, so you need someone to kind of help you. But you have an Orisa, you have a Reinhardt, you have a lot of your own shield pressure. So I think if you just let those tanks deal with the Reinhardt and zone him out, and you go and you deal with the Pharah, you're probably in a good spot. So... This is I feel like this is really an edge case because the comp is kind of off here, but I can't expect you to have the top 500 team comps, you know, like the meta team comps all the time in this SR. I think you just need to play to beat your current enemies. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't sound like condescending. I really I want to give you the knowledge to beat or like to outperform who you're playing against right now. Because giving advice for when you always have a meta team may not always suit your purposes. It's okay. Happens to the best of us. Again, I would probably work on developing the Sixth Sense for noticing when the Pharah has Barrage. Just keep an eye for when she goes behind your team and starts sinking down really fast, for the most part. When Pharah does this like Falcon Dive, that's like a clear telegraph of Barrage, okay?
Not planning on it.
So yeah, your team doesn't really have... Build energy off these nades.
Oh, look, he switched to Bastion.
Build energy off these nades. It's okay. You'll get them back before you push the point. Okay. You want to reload before you grab.
Probably not a bad idea.
I would... Their Reinhardt was going to chase your Reinhardt, So if you walk to the left of point, this diva's not going to be able to kill you. And you should be able to get the Mercy and the Moira in your grab. And kill them both. The Reinhardt at some point will get into your grab. That's fine. You need to deal with the Pharah.
Fine.
Huge amount of pressure for your team.
Farah's still there.
Bubble your Ryan. Oh god.
That got me.
You could have cleaned up your movement a little bit there.
Oh, you did it.
I think you could have gotten into safety.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get this far.
Like... Oh, fuck. Why did I have to reload there?
Okay.
Oh,
Alright, so do that question later. A couple times I went to the point by myself. In an uncoordinated but grouped up team, are there any cues I should be looking at for to tell me when everyone is ready, or should I push to initialize the fight and hope they're behind me? The classic tank problem, am I getting baited? The answer in ranked is yes, 100% of the time. So don't let yourself get baited too much, and tell your team, like, I overwhelmingly will try to say I'm pushing, or I'm walking through choke, or I'm going forward, in hopes that someone in my team hears me and pushes with me. Okay, that's the goal. Here your team is grouped up. You're pretty much good. You always want to push as a team, okay? So I'll say that first and foremost. You always want to be grouped up. Counter examples to this are, let's say you're fighting on Anubis, okay? You killed half their team. You guys lost the fight. Everyone's dead. That's an example where you could go in with not as many people, okay? And you could try to continue the fight in a sense. Oh my god. I just realized someone on the other team is called Real Paul. RuPaul Bunyan. I understand the reference. So, okay, well, sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, you generally always want to be grouped up before you push.
Oh, look, he switched to Bastion.
And all this right now, you can build energy. You could have actually shot that grab at your Reinhardt. The whole enemy team is going to try to push to him, and it would create a lot of space for your team. So you have to be mindful, okay? When you grab right here, your team's not going to be able to push around this Reinhardt shield, okay? It's going to be really difficult to follow up on this. Your team's not going to be able to get up these stairs and get positioning for themselves. If you grab towards their side of the point, it allows your team to push up to this pillar that's right in front of you. They can use that for cover. Okay. Also, like I was talking about before, if you shoot that grab at your Reinhardt towards where that diva is, cross your fingers that the diva doesn't eat it first and foremost. But the Reinhardt's going to get pulled away from it. As your team pushes in to follow up on that grab, they're going to see the diva. They're going to kill the diva. And then you can kind of work on, you know, continuing the follow up from there. Debatable bubble there.
Ryan. Farah's still there.
When your support says or like complains in any level about a Pharah, that means that they need help with the Pharah. I don't know if he's still here, but one thing Ruin does that I've been trying to implement into my own like ranked experience is, you know, when you lose, when your team's like performing poorly, asking your team, you know, who needs help? Like, what can I do to help you guys out? Because you don't always know who needs help. You know, let's say that a Pharah is just you know, Pharah or Tracer or Genji, whatever, is like just on your Zen 100% of the time, just killing that person. And then, you know, throughout the rest of the team fight, they don't really do a whole lot, you know? When you know that your support is getting focused, then you can try to help them out, and you can drop back. You can help them win, that fight, or get them to safety or whatever. Here in this circumstance, you know that your support's complaining about the Pharah, means that they probably need help against the Pharah. So that's my recommendation there. A few times at the beginning, I tried to make callouts to my team, but stopped because I didn't really think it was helping. What would have been important things to call out throughout the game? I definitely understand where you're coming from. I'm sure you've seen me try and shot call once or twice in ranked, and occasionally when I do shot call, I get people that just don't do what I tell them to do. Like I'll tell someone like do not visor, and then they pop visor, and it's like this guy, dude. So one handy piece of advice to anybody that's aspiring to be a shot caller: people are not going to listen to you sometimes. It doesn't matter if you're bronze, doesn't matter if you're diamond, doesn't matter if you're top 500, doesn't matter if you're in Overwatch League, okay? At some point, someone on your team is not going to listen to the shot caller, and it sucks, but it happens. It's simply life. If we were a perfect hive mind, society would be way different. I don't know if it's better or worse, but it'd be way different. Just bear that in mind. What would have been important things to call out throughout the game? You could have called out targets to focus. Saying things like, everybody shoot at this person. Everybody shoot at this person. Although generally that's whoever has a Discord on the enemy team. I think some of the best calls in ranked are regroups, like resetting, and don't ult. Let's say you've won a team fight, you've killed 3 people on the enemy team, say no more ults. Everybody on your team is still alive and they're not like Valkyne or something, they're going to bring back 2 people. So nobody ult. No more ults, don't do it. And resetting. I think those are like those kind of force your team into a base level of ult economy and time economy in a way. So I think those are 2 really good things to focus on at any level in terms of like shot calling. So yeah, I think that's how I feel about all that. I'm going to go back and touch on a question. I know my aim is bad. What do I do to improve it? Just recognize that, I don't know. I don't want you to be too hard on yourself for your aim, okay? Everybody has their on days. Everybody has their off days, okay? Building consistency takes time. If you want to have consistency, you have to constantly play, right? Part of the reason that some people are in such a high SR is because they're just playing constantly. They might not necessarily have the skills or something to like play the game at that certain SR, but they have the consistency, so they don't really like throw too often, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Directly how to work on your aim, just pick a mechanics based hero, play them in deathmatch, like I do. I am now starting out my day by playing some deathmatch, and it's helpful. So Soldier, if you want to play Zarya, I think Tracer is one of the best heroes to develop your aim with, as Tracer is a very fast character, okay? Soldier is an okay one to play as well. They both do tracking, but Tracer, you have to move your mouse way more. With Soldier, it's very, very gentle, very light movements. Tracer is super fast, very energetic. More towards what Zarya is going to be doing. You fight at the same range. So, yeah. Hopefully that helps. If anybody else has questions, feel free to go for them. I'll just wait for a few minutes if anyone has questions. But I think it's kind of good for the VOD review. I think that touches on everything that I'm majorly concerned about. Again, Orisa, you want to create as much space as possible between yourself and the enemy main tank. If it's a Reinhardt and you're playing defensively, make that space. Make him come to you. Make him lose that shield strength as he gets to you. Okay, Reinhardts hate that. If you have a DPS that isn't playing behind your shield and they need to, tell them, come play with me. It's safe. I protect. I think your shield placement was pretty good, but again, you want it on your side of the point. Playing Orisa into Pharah kind of sucks, so I understand why you swapped off. Yeah. So Diva for the second point. I think you overextended a little bit. I would have preferred a little bit safer positioning. Again, when you're in a double off-tank scenario, you want to focus on attacking from multiple different sides so that their main tank doesn't cover the entire like front line of your team. And when you went into point like that, you allowed the Reinhardt to block off your entire team. And then I would just a quick aside, when you're playing Zarya and you grab and you think that the enemy Pharah has barrage, I would generally swap to Diva in order to try to deal with that and win the next team fight. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. As you're walking through chokes, I think it's fine to pop a set of bubbles in order to build energy. Generally, by the time you actually get to where you need to get in order to really fight the enemy, your bubbles will come back off cooldown. And yeah, just try to play some Tracer in Deathmatch. I think that's, you know, I think that's a very strong character to play. Playing Tracer forces you to be very concerned about your health. Tank players lose sight of that sometimes. You know, you don't necessarily notice that you feed, you know, 200 health here, 200 health there, but it does add up over time. So just be concerned about that. Yeah, okay, cool. You missed it.